The main quest for Terminus is miles harder than Liberty Falls, so I decided to put together a guide walking you through the entire process in under 20 minutes. So no faffing around, tap the subscribe button and let's get started. For your loadout, this may seem a little bit strange, but you're actually going to want to pick the Sigma rocket launcher. You don't need any upgrades or levels up on this. Also, throw on an ether shroud and shock charge. If you want to make your life a little bit easier, use the gobblegums on screen right now. I'll walk you through how to use each of these towards the end of the video when we're in the boss fight, but just trust me, this will save you so much time and make the final fight so much easier. You're also going to want the GS45s maxed out at level 31 with the akimbo option and extended mags. Then tap this button right here so you can buy the weapon off the wall with all of these attachments rather than having to spawn in the game with the pistols. Finally, last thing we're going to talk about before diving into the guide itself are augments, because these are going to make your life so much easier. For PhD Flopper, you're going to want Tribologist and Dr. Ram. During the final fight, when the boss is slamming down in the middle section, as you can see, using Tribologist, you can slide a lot faster and a lot further, which will make avoiding his attacks a lot easier. And if things start getting a little bit crowded in the corner, you can use Dr. Ram to push all the zombies out of your way. For Quick Revive, you're going to want Dying Wish and Slow Death. Dying Wish will save your backside if you get hit by one of the boss's attacks, particularly the one-hit KO wipe attack. And Slow Death will be really helpful when you have the GS45's Pack Punch, because then you can just unleash a flurry of attacks. Then finally for Juggernog, you're going to want to attach Reactive Armor and Durable Plates. Reactive Armor will stun enemies, so if you get trapped in a corner, this will give you an opportunity to run away, and Durable Plates will simply increase the durability of the armor itself. Then to make your life easier during the Nathan boss fight, you're going to want the Augment that lets you stack 2 Ether Shrouds at once. Okay, first step for the Easter egg is to take down one of these guards, because if you're using the rocket launcher like I suggested, they are going to drop a gun that is going to be your main weapon for a while. So activate the machine in the guard station and defend it while zombies try to destroy it. When that's finished, work your way down the stairs and into the living quarters. This is going to be the second power generator you're going to want to charge up. When the second generator is done, save up some points and make your way across the C tower, down the stairs, open the doors to the tunnels, and then the final power generator doohickey is going to be in the biolab. When all 3 generators are powered up, you'll be able to jump into the water over this little balcony bit and summon the Pack-a-Punch machine up to the surface. Once you have 500 salvage, you're going to want to run over to the arsenal, which is this machine right here, and purchase a dead wire on the weapon you received from the guard at the beginning of the quest. If you have the GS45s purchased off the wall, get it on those, but I recommend waiting until higher rounds so that you can get a higher rarity off the wall. Now head over to the Pack-a-Punch machine and tap the incline button. As the lift starts to rise, face the button itself, look over the right-hand side, and you will see this little box that you're going to be able to shoot. Shoot that, and then there'll be another box just to your right as you're still going up that you're going to be able to shoot. After shooting the second box, that little spark will go over behind the Pack-a-Punch machine itself to yet another box that you're going to be able to shoot. Once the spark has transferred between all 3 devices, you can then run down to the living quarters, and there'll be another box you can shoot right here. Then on the opposite side of the wall, there'll be a final box you're going to be able to shoot, and voila, just like that, a mysterious room has opened. This is the research office. As you enter, there'll be a lady on the floor called Anya Tarnowski. You're going to want to put a few bullets in her skull and then pick up the EMF fob she dropped on the floor. That's a tongue twister. Now, if you head back to the Pack-a-Punch platform, which should still be raised, there'll be a staircase on both the left and the right hand side. Go up the left hand side one and then interact with the laptop outside of the prison. Go to the other side of the Pack-a-Punch platform, up these stairs, and then you can interact with yet another laptop. Again, a strange symbol will appear on the laptop. Now you're going to work your way down to the docks. I chose to go down C tower, down the stairs again as if you were going to the tunnels, but then at this point, turn left. There will be a final laptop right here ready and waiting for you to interact with it. After all 3 laptops have been interacted with, head into the C tower and find this handy little briefcase. Get it? Handy because there's a Don't worry. Grab the multiphasic resonator, take care of the spiders that try to jump out and crawl into your backside. Then head back to the research office and place the multiphasic resonator on this strange looking machine. Usually, you'll be able to use the whiteboards in the background, do some quick maths, and be able to solve it yourself. But if you're lazy like me, you can head to the website on screen. I'll put it in the description as well. It's terminussolver.com. Simply take a look at the symbols on the sticky note in the game, put those into the website, and it will give you a 6-digit code to input in the game itself. Mine was 553701. These are going to be random every single game. You can go back to the guard station and get Peck, who's hiding behind this bulletproof glass wall, to solve the code for you. It costs 5,000 essence. Now, you're going to have to wait until round 9 or the next round if you're already past that stage. So, go ahead and gather some points, do whatever you need to do, and then when you get an audio prompt, you'll be able to go back to the research office and pick up the multiphasic resonator. Now, it's time for a little sailing trip. You're going to want to head all the way down to the docks, summon a boat. Then we're going to be visiting 3 different islands. The first one is just over here. This is going to be called Castle Rock Island. When you arrive, you'll see this weird glowing blue orb. If you interact with it, you'll put down the multiphasic resonator on the floor, and suddenly a bunch of zombies are going to start spawning and trying to kick your butt. Your job is to watch the blue orb and wait until it sends out a weird blue aura thing, turning one of the zombies blue. When you take out that zombie, he will drop a little blue orb. Grab the orb, return it to the bigger orb, then just do that again. If the blue zombie isn't spawning, just take out a bunch of them, and eventually a new one will appear. After doing this twice, the big orb will fly off to a different island and we're going to have to chase it. On the way out, don't forget to pick up the multiphasic resonator still sitting on the floor. The next island we're going to go to is Crab Island, down here at the southernmost point of the map. Same thing again, place the multiphasic resonator, take down the zombie when it turns green, grab the orb, return it, do it twice, and then the orb will fly off one final time. Pick up the multiphasic resonator and then head to the northwesternmost point of the map called Temple Island. Complete the process one more time, then when you return the final little orb to the big orb, you'll see a sudden blinding flash of light, and then the multiphasic resonator will become the amp munition. Take your new little glowy buddy all the way back to the research office, and now it's time to craft yourself the wonder weapon of the map, the Beamsmaher. I'm trying to make it sound dramatic because this thing's actually really cool. Now, weirdly, you're only actually going to use the wonder weapon for one tiny little step in this Easter egg, and that is finding the tentacle traps on the map and then shooting them with the Beamsmaher. That's it. That's all you did that whole step for. The first of which is in the guard station right next to Peck. The second is in the living quarters. The third is in the biolab by the door that leads to Speed Cola, and the fourth is just outside the biolab along the tunnel path that we followed before. What you're looking for is underneath the tentacle trap. There'll be a little piece of debris under one of them. You're going to want to activate the trap, and when you see the tentacles come flying out, shoot them with your Beamsmaher wonder weapon, and then a hard drive will drop to the floor. Make sure you're crouching or the tentacle trap will try to whip you up and it'll turn into a whole creepy anime thing. Some people are into that kind of thing though, so you do you, boo-boo. Head back to the guard station and hand the hard drive over to Peck. Now, quickly grab yourself a pen, paper, notepad, or child to draw on. You're going to want to write down another series of 3 numbers. If you head through the entrance to the left of Peck, look through this little cage, and there will be a clock on the wall. You're going to want to look at the little hand, and whatever number that is pointing towards is the number that you're going to want to write down. If it says something like 2:30, just write down 2. Then you're going to want to run out of this room, down the stairs, and into the mess hall. Pinned to the bulletin board of this room is a playing card. Whatever digit is on this card will be your next number. For the final digit, head through the living quarters and into the engineering room. There will be a sign on the wall that says safety first, days since last injury, and then the number, which is the 3rd number in your sequence. Head down into the biolab, and then you're going to want to interact with this strange thing in the middle of the room. Don't worry, nothing is going to happen until I tell you it will. Interact with it one time, and a chap called Nathan will stick his head into the window trying to terrify you. Interact with it a second time once Nathan has finished yapping, and you'll be able to enter your 3-number code. But do not interact with it a 3rd time until you're ready for a pretty tough fight. It's at this point in the main quest I would recommend going and getting the GS45s off the wall. If you're anything above round 10, 11, 12, they should come as a blue rarity or even higher. The only other requirement is to get both of your ether shrouds ready to go. Maybe grab yourself PhD if you're worried about splash damage, grab anything else you need, and now it's time to take on Nathan. Head back down into the biolab, interact with this thing one last time, and the fight will begin. Now, there are 2 ways to take Nathan down, the first of which is running around the room like a madman, doing everything you can to try and avoid him. The second is to use those ether shrouds and your GS45s to absolutely obliterate him. See, what you're going to want to do if you have everything that I told you to get is pop a ether shroud the minute he comes out of the little tubey buoy container thing. And when you pop your first ether shroud, you're going to want to absolutely annihilate him with the GS45s. Then when that ether shroud runs out, just pop another one and do the same thing again. You should be able to take him down without needing to do anything else. Again, make sure you have everything that I recommended, otherwise this is going to be a little bit trickier. After taking Nathan down, you're going to get a heart-wrenching cutscene. When it finishes, you're going to want to go for a bath. No, not in real life, don't worry, I wouldn't expect a gamer to have personal hygiene. Simply jump into the water underneath the area where Nathan died and you'll be able to find a keycard on the floor. Take the keycard to the communications room, which is right up here. Interact with the computer that has green writing on it, and then we're off to sea yet again. Head down to the docks, grab a ship, and then we're going to want to sail over to the massive ship right here. In the middle of the ship, there'll be a little area where you can park up your boat and climb up a ladder. When you get into the bowels of the ship, there are going to be 2 node connectors on the workshop that you're going to be able to interact with. When you do, a bunch of zombies are going to jump at you and try to take you down. The catch with this bit is that you're actually going to be trapped in this room. The trapdoor you came up is going to slam shut when you try to collect the node connectors. This isn't too hard if you have the GS45s. If you're using something like an AR, it does get a little bit tricky. You can also place 2 shock charges by the trapdoor entrance, and that will actually open the door for you when a zombie interacts with it. If you survive, which, fingers crossed you do, otherwise you'll have to do this whole thing again, head down to Crab Island, which is to the south of where you're at now. When you arrive at the island, there may be a broken node connector that you'll be able to interact with. If there is, pop a smoke or an ether shroud and you'll be able to get this thing repaired without taking one single hit from enemies. You can just try to brute force it, and you can also do the item duplication glitch, but like I said in my Liberty Falls guide, I don't know if that's still going to be working in a year's time, so if it is, use it. If not, then just go back to the ship and grab another node connector when you're done with this one. Now you're going to want to sail back to the original dock where you got this boat from on the main island, and just here there may be a broken node connector. You'll be able to tell if this one is broken immediately because the area will be swarmed with zombies and a mangler and a bunch of other things that want to try to tear you to pieces. If this one is not broken, you're going to want to head to the Speed Cola tunnels. If you don't know where that is, it's just up the stairs. Blow open this little rock pathway and then just keep to the right hand side and you will find the 3rd node connector. You're only going to have to fix 2 of these, but again, they're random every single game. When both are repaired, you get a little bit of dialogue, then head back up to Peck and you're going to want to grab a hacking device from him. The next step is going to be your point of no return, so anything else you need to do right now, get it done. That includes maxing out the Pack-a-Punch on your rocket launcher, the Sigma, getting it fully upgraded in terms of rarity, do the same for the GS45s, get your Ether Shroud maxed out, get your Gobblegums if you're going to be using them. You are going to want to craft yourself a bunch of smokes at the crafting table. These are not optional, you will need these. Get all of the perks that you're going to need, particularly PhD, Stamina, Juggernog, and Quick Revive. Max out your armor, and to finish everything up, you're going to want to get a chopper gunner, whether that's through a drop on a mangler or something like that, or you craft one. That is entirely up to you, but just get one and make sure you are prepared for the final fight. When you're ready, head down to the docks and go to this location right here. You're going to need to hack this buoy, or this buoy, or this booby, however you want to say it. You can stay on the boat while you hack this device, just dismantle, walk to the front, and just kind of glide your way into it. Once the first one has been hacked, you're going to want to head west and find the second one. It's nestled between these 2 rocks right here. And then the 3rd buoy is just outside of Crab Island where you were fixing the node a moment ago. Hack this one, and then immediately you're going to want to return to the docks where you got this boat on the main island. Stand outside the tunnels until a countdown begins. There is nothing you can do at this point. The inevitable has already begun. As soon as the countdown begins, you're going to want to run through the tunnels and activate the tentacle trap as you enter the biolab. If you successfully activated it, you can just run straight to this device right here. There are 3 of them in a room you're going to want to deactivate, but this one, you shouldn't have to do anything else if you got the trap. Once that one has been deactivated, you're going to want to avoid all of the zombies and every single enemy that wants to take you down and go to the second device, which is on the same floor. Just run straight across. It's at this point you want to throw a smoke. You need good accuracy to be able to get this one done. Once that one has been deactivated, you're going to want to just go up the stairs right next to you, and then there'll be another set of stairs, and then the final device you're going to want to deactivate is right here. Yet again, you're going to want to either pop an ether shroud or a smoke to be able to get you through this. If for whatever reason you can't complete a device, your progress will be saved, so you can just run around the room, come back to it. But using your smokes and ether shrouds, you should be able to knock these out without even getting hit once. After deactivating the final bomb, you are able to go and enter the boss fight. You do have an option to continue training, getting perks, but you should be ready by now. Enter the boss fight, and then it's time for the fight of your lives. Meet Patient 13. This chap will be the bane of your existence for the next 15 to 20 minutes. If you're using Gobblegums, which I highly recommend if you're struggling with this boss, you're going to want to immediately pop the shields up Gobblegum, and not only is that going to repair your armor if it's broken, but it will heavily increase your defense for the next couple of minutes. Grab your Sigma, which once again should be triple pack-a-punched, at least purple or golden rarity, and just absolutely go to town. Don't worry too much about your ammo, we'll be able to sort all of that out in a bit. You'll see that the boss has 2 weak points right now on his shoulders. Is that the body part we're talking about? It's right here. Aim for those 2 bits, and as you can see, his health bar is dropping rapidly. At this point, all you have to worry about are his attacks where he moves his tentacles up a little bit, waits a second, and then slams them down, taking out all zombies that are in the main area, but he will do massive damage to you if you're caught in this process. Again, this is where PhD comes in handy, because as soon as you see those tentacles come up, you just slide over to the corner and you're safe. When he's lost just over a quarter of his health, he's going to go disappear and transform into his second phase. During that transformation time, you're going to have to deal with a bunch of zombies. You don't even have to worry about taking them down, but I advise you do so as much as possible while being safe and not getting yourself downed, because you're going to need those points. You're going to need to buy ammo at least 3 or 4 times, which is going to cost you anywhere from 10 to 20,000 essence. So if you don't have that going into the fight, now is your opportunity to be able to stockpile that and prepare. When the boss respawns in phase 2, not only are his weak points going to change, it's now going to be in the center of his face hole, but he's also going to be a little bit more aggressive. There's going to be a few more zombies surrounding you, so things are going to start to feel a little bit more hectic. If you're using Gobblegums, now is the time you're going to want to pop a free fire Gobblegum. This is going to give you unlimited ammunition for about a minute, so you're going to want to spray all of your rockets into the center of his face. If you can't get him to enter his 3rd phase while using this Gobblegum, switch over to the GS45s and use those instead. After a couple of minutes, his weak point will transfer over to his tentacles. You're going to want to keep an eye on those, and again, these are a little bit easier to hit if you use the GS45s. After getting Patient 13 below half his health, he will transform for a 3rd time and enter the 3rd and scariest phase. Again, your objective is just to survive until he respawns, but when he does, be careful, because now he's got an attack that will wipe you off the face of existence. It is a one-hit KO that takes a long time to charge, but it's kind of unpredictable as to when it's going to hit. So the best thing to do is, as soon as he enters his 3rd phase, you're going to want to activate your chopper gunner and rain hell on his face as best as possible. That should deal a decent amount of damage, at which point your only objective now is to finish him off. You can use your rocket launchers for it, you can use the GS45s, anything at your disposal, give it a go. And there is one little trick if you have a self-revive. Assuming that Patient 13 is pretty low on health, like mine is right now, you can actually down yourself, enter last stand, and then use the GS45s to finish him off. This is absolutely a last resort, but if you're struggling, it's a decent idea that will stop all zombies attacking you, letting you focus on this chap right here. After taking him down, you have completed the main quest for Terminus. Congratulations. You'll get a quick cutscene that confused the hell out of all the zombies fans in the world. Then you'll be given an option to either continue with your playthrough, which puts you back on whatever round it was, but you'll be given a perkaholic, a bunch of guns, ether tools and crystals and stuff that you're gonna need to pack a punch and make your run really fun. That rhymed. Or you can choose to exit out of the game. If you haven't already watched my video on how to complete the Liberty Falls main quest, go ahead and do so. I also have a video showcasing all of the secrets hidden in Liberty Falls, and I'm thinking about doing one for Terminus as well, so let me know if that is something that you are going to want to see. I love your faces, you're amazing, you're beautiful, and I will catch you in the next one.